From Supreme Court, Vidya joins us from Mumbai for more on this. The disqualification notice that's been sent out to the 16 rebels, Nalini, says they need to respond by 5 p.m. today. If their answer is not satisfactory, is there an apprehension that they could be disqualified today itself, or the Deputy Speaker will apply his mind, take some time? And is that why the Eknath Shinde Sena is seeking some kind of an order from the Supreme Court today by 5 p.m. itself?
Well, Gaurav, specifically talking about the disqualification proceedings, it's going to be very interesting how this plays out. And I'm glad you asked me this question. Let me explain to you why. Because although the Shinde faction has moved the Supreme Court stating that the disqualification proceedings should not be conducted, and their basis for saying that is that because the no confidence motion that they had moved against the Deputy Speaker, they've challenged that itself, saying that that should be decided in finality first. But because they're asking for a stay on the notice that has been issued to them regarding the disqualification proceedings, the question that becomes is whether or not the Supreme Court is even going to entertain this. Because remember, Gaurav, the 10th schedule specifically, which talks about anti-defection law under which these disqualification proceedings are being conducted, specifically states that there is no jurisdiction of the court when it comes to disqualification proceedings. The only limited aspect in which a court can entertain a matter arising out of disqualification proceedings is when a final order has been given by the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker, as is this case, on the issue of disqualification. So only after the Deputy Speaker decides whether or not these MLAs should or should not be disqualified is when the Supreme Court can enter the picture and then do a judicial review of this order of the Deputy Speaker. But at the stage of issuance of notice, when the proceedings have not been conducted, it is very difficult that the Supreme Court will actually go ahead and entertain this. But considering that their basis for asking for a stay on the disqualification proceedings is their no confidence motion, and they are stating that the no confidence motion was not decided fairly by the Deputy Speaker, it becomes interesting to see how the Supreme Court is going to interpret it. Their, of course, petition has a very large ambit. Like I stated, they have spoken about every single aspect of this crisis that we've been seeing playing out in Maharashtra for the past several days. But how many of these aspects are the lawyers going to push for? What their priorities are going to be? What is going to be the first relief that they're going to ask for from Supreme Court? And most importantly, to what extent the Supreme Court is going to indulge these lawyers is all something we'll know only once this matter plays out.
It's a very interesting legal battle that's actually going to be waged in the Supreme Court in a while from now, and Nalini is reporting from Ground Zero. Stay with me, Nalini. I want to cut across to Vidya in Mumbai. So Vidya, this battle is not only being fought in courts, it's actually being fought on grounds. And while you have the Shiv Sena or the Shiv Sainiks out on the streets, you also have Eknath Shinde's loyalists on the streets in Thane. Are they also out in other parts of Maharashtra? Because they claim that they are the same Shiv Sena, same Shiv Sainiks, and follow the ideology of the same Balasaheb Thackeray.
Well, Gaurav, they have not really distanced themselves from the party. They have been saying all along that they do not have any issues with Uddhav Thackeray or the party per se. They have been very clear that the only issue that they have is with the party joining hands with the Congress and the NCP, against whom they have been fighting. In fact, yesterday itself, last night, we had seen Eknath Shinde tweet, that there are allegations against Anil Deshmukh, a prominent lawyer who was a prominent minister who was actually a minister in the MVA government. There were allegations against Nawab Malik of, having connections with the underworld. With these people having severe allegations, why should the party continue having its association with these NCP leaders is something that the Eknath Shinde camp has been vociferously asking for. In fact, at this juncture, there are protests happening in Thane in large number where people have collected, and they are protesting on the street, trying to show the strength that the party still has, that the Eknath Shinde camp still has over the protests that have happened in and around Mumbai by the people supporting Uddhav Thackeray. So Sena factions different factions against each other, trying to show the show of strength really happening on the streets per se. But at the moment, what really happens in the court could determine what would be the ground reality in the Maharashtra politics here on.